Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
It's holiday weekend. And you know what came out last week? Do you?
It certainly wasn't a gift.
No. You're not getting any Thanksgiving gifts from Netflix.
No. Well, unless you like, anyway.
Anyway, Cowboy Bebop finally dropped. And we suffered through the first episode. We're not reviewing anymore because it's exactly as advertised.
I watched some reviews. I got the gist of everything else, and it doesn't make me feel good.
No, but we're going to break down the first episode hard because it's just as awful as you think it is, but in new and fantastic ways.
Yeah.
It's not really what I expected, honestly.
No, we'll get into it.
But anyway, we got that. We got ESCAFLOWNE the movie we're going to get into later.
Yep.
Which
is a little bit forgotten because the series I think is well known, but the movie not so much because it's very much not related to the series.
The movie is like a vast departure from the series.
Very different.
Cool in its own way, but we'll get into it later. And what else?
Subgenres, man.
Oh, yeah. We basically talking about different weird subgenres and shit last week.
Niche stuff. It's because every fucking thing is isekai now.
Yeah,
everything.
It got me to thinking, like, what haven't I seen in a long time that I really wish would make a comeback?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, Izakai's icy grip has to break eventually. So.
Yeah, and I don't even hate certain isekai. It's just like
it's just that they take a regular show and they just jam the stupid isekai thing right at the beginning and then never mention it again.
Yeah,
it's just bizarre.
It's getting silly.
At any rate, before we do any of that, the news.
Yep, the news. All right, so not a ton of news this week.
It's like a holiday weekend.
Yeah, so the first one is
nobody gives a fuck.
This came from my feed the other day. I thought it was kind of cool. So Bandai's got like a recycling program that they're doing for their sprues. GW, pay attention.
I know what you're talking about. I saw that.
And cool. They built a life-size RX-78-2 Gundam head out of them.
Recycled sprues.
Out of recycled sprues. And not like
really cool.
Melted down and remolded, like it's built out of sprues. Like you can see
they're just like all stuck together.
It's really cool. So this thing, what does it say here? Approximately 3,000 runners, which is that's a lot. 2 meters tall.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's that in freedom units. It's like 7-ish feet. It's pretty big. Yeah, it's on display over in Japan, obviously. So
over in glorious Nippon.
Yeah. So if you're over there, hey, check it out. It's pretty cool. If not, obviously do a little Google, check out your search engine of choice. I shouldn't give Google the business. I don't even use them anymore. But yeah, check it out. It's just cool. It's a cool thing to say. I would love to be able to see it in person, but someday maybe. Someday. Anyway, moving on. So Hideo Kojima of previous Metal Gear Solid fame, and Death Stranding infamy. Very pretty game. I heard it was pretty boring. It sounded pretty boring.
That's the only thing I heard about it, actually. It was just pretty boring.
Kojima, as much as I like Metal Gear Solid, Kojima does like to disappear up his own ass. But, the disturbing prescience of the end of Metal Gear Solid 2 for today's world is, cannot be denied. It made no damn sense to me back in, like, the early 2000s when I beat it. Now I look back on it and go, oh, shit. Well, then. So he's taken his production company, and now he's unfortunately entering the belly of the beast. So he's launching a division for music, television, and film, and it's going to be in L.A. So
fucked forever.
I'm not going to hold out much hope that it isn't going to get instantly corrupted.
Yeah, he'll be like a card-carrying member of the cult in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it'll be instantly a woke nightmare, which is not a good sign. But it is what it is. So it's kind of cool that he's branched out into other stuff. That's good news. But again, doing it in the belly of the beast, I suppose you almost have to. But I kind of wish he would have just done it in Japan. Whatever.
So do I.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on. So we talked about the fun, spicy memes issued by a U.S. politician. I won't even mention his name because it doesn't matter. About
it doesn't matter because God forbid memes.
Attack on Titan. And they censured him. Oh no, spank me harder, daddy.
Censured for a meme. Like, and not even the terribly creative one.
So apparently now there's one political party in the U.S. that can't even take jokes in the form of spicy Attack on Titan memes. I mean, that's it's a sad day when that's.
We're not going to tell you which one. You have to guess.
Back in the day, politicians were stabbing each other to death, having families killed. I mean, I'm not saying they still don't do some of this stuff, but
yeah.
Now a spicy meme sends them into a tizzy.
Where's my hickory switch?
That's not even that spicy. It's actually fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's not spicy.
Regardless of your political persuasion, it's just funny.
It's just dumb. We can't have dumb fun.
Yeah. So just again, this isn't a political podcast. We're not going to get into it. It was just funny. It was a funny thing. It was funny when the guy was filibustering, just reciting, what Attack on Titan was all about and how cool it is.
Yeah.
It's some
they filibustered really dumb stuff. Somebody read Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody read Lord of the Rings. There's been a bunch of other dumb shit.
Such a silly mechanism. Politics is dumb, and politicians suck. But the memes are funny. So anyway, there's a lesson to all of you. You get involved in politics. Don't, God forbid, you use some anime memes to insult your political opponents, because that's it. That's it. You're done. You're cooked.
Dare I say, don't tread on meme.
Personally, I hate you.
I know.
I would.
I know your legendary hatred of terrible puns.
Yeah. I would personally up the ante, and the next one would involve Fudas. So you'd watch her ass.
That'd be the best.
Literally. Anyway, moving on. And another thing that triggered Twitter, because everything triggers Twitter.
Why does anyone even care anymore?
Yeah. One of the producers of the Super Mario Brothers movie that's being worked on, the new one, which is animated, I believe, so it won't be as much of a shit show as the very bizarre 90s one.
Oh man, that was
Hoskins
awesome.
And Legos. Oh, it's an awesome thing in its own right because it's just so fucking weird.
It's bizarre.
But anyway, so apparently Chris Pratt's crushing it. He's doing a good job because he's the voice of Mario.
I'm kind of sad that they won't let him do a super awesome Italian accent.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a Mario.
It's a Mario. Listen, I get it, because if you're going to do a whole movie, that would get really fucking annoying.
Nah, man. I'm all in on Italian accent.
So, yeah. He's doing a good job. He's getting praised for it. Obviously, that doesn't go over well, because the hatred of Chris Pratt for, I don't know, being like a basic bitch, conservative Christian, knows no bounds.
I'm just a boring guy.
Yeah. Boring guy who lives in the middle of nowhere. So, if you get triggered by Chris Pratt, you should really kind of, reprioritize your life, because there's no reason for that.
You should get some self-help.
And, I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to it because it's just a silly Mario movie, but it could be cool. Whatever.
Whatever.
We'll see how it goes. Hey, Detective Pikachu was good.
Yeah, strangely enough. I expected absolutely
Ryan Reynolds
dick out of that, and it was
damn near
actually
makes
good.
everything good, but it was decent.
It was actually a kind of well put together movie, too.
Yeah.
Strangely enough.
Anyway, moving on.
Keep trucking.
One more bit of news, and it is interesting news, actually. So, Hayao Miyazaki is going for one last ride.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's coming out of retirement to do one more movie.
He's going to Tarantino it.
He's going to come out and tell us how anime was a mistake one more time. So he's apparently going to do a movie, direct a movie called How Do You Live? Don't know really much about it. Miyazaki said he's doing it because he wants to, which you don't really need any more reason than that. I mean, you're Miyazaki. I never saw The Wind Rises, which was the last one he did. I think the last movie I saw of his was Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah, probably.
I think it was the last one
That's the last one I remember anyway.
Which it was all right. I don't. Howl's wasn't my thing.
I was not a big Howl's guy.
It
was okay.
I think my problem was he was, from hitting the height of Mononoke, it felt like it was all backslide from there.
Oh, that's very true.
Like before that, everything he did was good, and it was just like, it's just not as great.
Mononoke is such a peak, though. Like, you kind of can't,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Spirited Away is good. I like Spirited Away, but it's not Mononoke. It's a little too slow for my
It's like when a
liking.
band puts out a really good album, then they have to follow it up with something. And even though it's decent, it just never seems as good. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. So anyway, apparently this is based on How Do You Live? It's based on a 1937 novel about a mischievous boy.
That's very Miyazaki.
So that's, I don't know. That's cool. I'm glad.
Something to keep an eye on.
I'm glad he's
going
to do it.
For.
Yeah, I'm glad he's going to do it. You know, it's Miyazaki, man.
One last ride.
One last ride. I wish he came out of retirement to do one last ride by doing a Lupin movie instead, but, you know.
Oh, God.
It is what it is.
Perfect circle.
It would be a perfect circle. I agree. Hey, Miyazaki, after this one more. Just one more.
Yeah, man. Do a wacky Lupin movie. Make me happy.
Watch. He'll probably stealth direct an episode or something.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That'd be funny.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people that.
Why is this episode so amazing?
Yeah, stealth write and stealth direct, like Lupin stuff in Japan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, like, beloved franchises.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants a piece.
Oh, yeah. It's like Golgo, right? Everybody wants a piece.
Oh, hell yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got. The news, a little slow this week.
There's nothing terrible, though. Usually it's like such and such is dead, or this is fucking crap.
Listen, the release of Cowboy Bebop is enough terror for 1 week. Thank you very much.
It's been a whole week, and I'm just getting over it.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, guess what it is? Time to move on to
I know
dissecting that trash fire.
Get it. There's a lot of shit going on here. Let me organize my thoughts.
Yeah, so we just watched the series again. Just did a rewatch. Said that.
Yeah, we just watched the original again, so it would be fresh.
Not the movie, not Knocking on Heaven's Door, but that's kind of, I've seen it before, but it's kind of superfluous to the series.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's a good bridge. Like, I don't dislike it. It's a good bridge between, like, episode 24 and then 25 and 26.
Yeah,
because 25 and 26 kind of feel like they come out of nowhere, and it does lay a little more groundwork there. So I don't.
It's necessary, but
it doesn't. I don't think
it's
necessary, but it's good. It's good. It's just whatever.
Yeah, it helps out. That's
anyway.
All.
Didn't rewatch that. Just want to be clear about it, but not because I dislike it. It just didn't do it.
I got shit to do.
There's a lot of stuff to do. Working through Outlaw Star. We're working through ESCAFLOWNE series soon, and we got freaking Gundam series. There's a lot of shit to watch. Anyway, Cowboy Bebop. Back to Cowboy Bebop. So we watched the first episode of the show.
So like the first scene.
All right, no. Before you even get to the first scene, the first thing that horrified me before it even started is when I saw the damn time bar and it went up to 50 minutes.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that's not a good
yeah, the episodes
sign.
are way too fucking
That's
long.
not a good
and
sign.
they feel it. Like, you feel every second of it.
Just that first episode.
You feel the gravity
padding.
of every second of it.
The original had what? 1 2-part episode? 2 2-part episodes? 2, right? Real Folk Blues at the end, and then Jupiter Jazz.
They basically jammed, like, kind of the original, like the first little arc. It was like that first episode.
So
right?
apparently the whole
they like sandwiched that first episode inside some crap.
They did a Casino Royale, but poorly.
Yeah,
because if you've ever seen the Casino Royale movie, Bond movie, read the book for Casino Royale is just like within that movie,
that
the
part
entire
in the
book pretty much.
Yeah,
adapted obviously to be more modern.
Yeah.
But like they just added a bunch of extra stuff. Except they did a really good job, and the movie's good.
Probably one of the best Bond movies ever.
It's up there. I still like From Russia with Love, but it's up there. It's in my top 5.
But
easily.
the part where they adapted that book, fucking really, really, really good.
They did a good job of adapting, and the new stuff they added was good.
And they included the terrifying ball crushing scene. I remember reading that, and I was just like, holy fuck, that's raw. It's raw, son.
These are the things we get to here. So regardless, they did a good job there. Unlike Cowboy Bebop, where they did the same thing very ham-handedly and very poorly. It is clear to me the only cool things in this show are things that were adapted from the original and are not completely screwed up.
Yeah, which is rare, but there's a few in there.
But I mean, it feels less realistic than the original, even though it's not animated.
It feels like if you've ever seen any of the Japanese live-action adaptations of stuff, it's like that quality, which is fucking horrendous.
I think the writing is worse, but
the writing's way worse, but like the actual visuals are just like weird, low budget, like
the low budget
direct to
Japanese
DVD,
stuff.
like shit.
They're live action Full Metal Alchemist, let's say.
Anyway, first scene, they're in a bookies, and there's some weirdo like holding up the bookies.
Casino,
yeah.
The bookies. You've been watching Snatch.
No, but it was a bookmaking place. I like to say bookie, all right? But anyway, so then like these people are like shooting shit up and it's like super over the top. And then Spike wanders in.
Stupidly.
Stupidly.
Well, they're taking the scene from the show where it was in I think it was like a supermarket or convenience store or something, right? But in there, he could plausibly pretend he doesn't hear or see anybody because he's got the headphones on. He's not looking at anybody.
Yep.
He walks directly in and looks at everybody.
Yeah, it's like so fucking.
And then does
dumb.
that stupid coin kick thing.
Yeah, which is beyond retarded.
Instead of pulling out the jammy, like it's just unrealistic.
There's a lot of emphasis on like poorly choreographed fight scenes instead of just shooting, which Cowboy Bebop was very much about.
Walking directly into a room with 6 or 7 armed people with little cover is not something Spike Spiegel typically does.
No, God, no.
He would have at least rolled a grenade somewhere and ducked behind something. It's silly. They turned him into this superhero where it's not really his thing, especially considering how often he gets his ass kicked.
In that first scene, I was like, okay. There's probably a few good elements in there, which makes it kind of depressing that the rest is shit.
Don't forget Jet Kool-Aid Manning through the fucking ceiling.
Jet blast through the ceiling.
For no reason.
And that was about all in that first scene. Like they basically
and the just random murdering of people because they just don't. And I don't mean gunfighting. It's just executing people that are already subdued.
Yeah, there's this weird this was one of the things we mentioned in High Guardian Spice too. There's this weird sociopathic bent in all these movies.
Yeah.
Everyone's just
sociopaths.
La la la. Jet and Spike are talking after they do this whole fight scene, blah blah blah, and kill everybody, and they're just laughing and joking about killing some guy. It's that's just an off tone for this.
Yeah, it's really
that is
off.
not even remotely the tone of the original. No one was a psychopath. They just
none of the main characters. Vicious is a psychopath.
Well, yeah, because he's the fucking villain. It makes a lot of sense.
And we'll get to Vicious. Oh
my God,
we'll get there.
I don't want to,
but yeah, it's
and then after that scene, they basically go into that first episode,
and it's unrealistic garbage. As I said before, the animated series seems more grounded.
Oh, absolutely.
The gunfights make more sense. The fighting makes more sense. It's awful. Awful. The only good thing I'll say about it is Jet's gun is way cooler in this series than the other one. Giving him a Matebo, which is a kind of a that's not really a niche pick because that's got
anime used to beat the
that's
shit
a
out of
Bateau
them. Yeah, exactly.
What's his face Decker from Blade Runner, right?
Yeah. It's a pretty classic movie.
It's a pretty classic, but it's a cool thing to give him. Something Revolver It's a little bit on the nose for an ex-cop, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like it better than the Walther or whatever he had in the original that was a little
It is what it is.
I guess at the time it was James Bond's gun. If it was I think it was a Walther P99, but
yeah, I think it was actually.
Regardless, it was never as cool as the Jericho that Spike has.
It's true,
but he does have the Jericho, so I will give him that.
Giant blocky ass Jericho.
And then the opening, redoing Tank. Okay, I mean that's fine. You're not going to do better than that, so you may as well just do it again.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of iconic. What the fuck else could you?
It's a way less sexy version of Tank, but whatever.
Whatever. That's basically
the opening credits. I should say the song is the same.
That's basically this whole thing.
Anyway, let's see what else. What else was terrible about it besides the pacing was off, the dialogue's off. I will say Jet.
It's the entire tone is off.
So despite
let's do characters right.
Let's do characters. So despite race swapping a man named Jet Black to a black guy,
which seems a little racist.
Seems a little racist to me.
I'm just saying, if everything's racist, that's definitely racist.
Dude crushed it. That guy. He seems like the only person who actually watched the goddamn show.
He was absolutely the only person who I was like, he did the voice really good.
Yes.
If you watch the English dub, he mimics that guy's voice fucking
His
perfect.
His voice is good.
I'm like, is that the voice actor? Goddamn. And he just the tone, the mannerisms, he actually gave a shit.
The character is the closest by far.
I give him mad props.
By
He
far.
really just crushed it.
Spike, I heard somebody else say this, and I can't remember who it was. Another reviewer said he's 100% right. And we had thought this before, too. Like, I don't know who the fuck John Cho's playing, but it ain't Spike.
It's not Spike.
It's not Spike.
Yeah, not at all. Like, tone is off. Like, everything's
He's not a bad
off.
actor, so his acting is fine.
It's just like, that's not
But
Spike.
the character's
like,
not.
What are you doing?
Not
like,
Spike.
It
It's
doesn't.
Just not.
It's just so off-putting.
I mean, not just the age is a problem, but like the mannerisms are off. The dialogue is off.
Like,
the character
his
quirks
whole
are off.
his whole vibe is off. Like,
it's all off.
Like, he's just like this, like, kind of like aggressive smartass. He like doesn't have any of that like laid back, no fucks given, like Bruce Lee style of thing that Spike
It's
had.
obvious that the writers think the only way you can be cool is to be aggressive.
Gee,
right.
I wonder why.
I wonder why.
'Cause
Right. You have to be an aggressive sociopath.
Because they have the testosterone levels of like a 70-year-old man.
So it's off, right? And then we get to Faye.
Speaking of like overly aggressive and like retarded, Faye is not Faye.
Understanding the controversy about the fucking costume, understanding that Danielle Pineda did not do herself any favors with the bullshit she was spouting.
Let's just break it down real.
Terrible character.
Just fucking awful.
Not even remotely Faye. I don't know what character
They got rid
this
of
is.
everything that made Faye great and replaced it with like generic, like hyper aggressive, like kung fu, shoot everybody up, psychopath,
like snarky, but not in a funny way every now and again.
Snarky
like,
in
not
a
funny
super
at all.
cunty way.
Yeah, awful. Just awful.
The most unlikable character I've seen in a long time.
Very, very unlikable. Like, just, ugh. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, man. She is awful.
Like in Cowboy Bebop, the original series, I think she like, what does she rock one spin kick?
She has
the entire time.
Yes, she literally kicks one person.
Yeah, and that's it.
She has one of the better character arcs in
she
the
really
original.
does, yeah.
I mean, it's an awesome character arc. Like someone who's, woken up out of freaking cold sleep, who's a person, now she's a woman out of time, right? Who's then gets saddled with all these debts from that and from that other dude who scammed her.
Yeah, he was totally scamming her.
And she gets put in a position where she has to do the horrible things that she does.
Yeah, it's such a cool
all the scamming and shit that she does because she's got to make money somehow.
It's such a cool backstory
to pay it back because the mob's coming after her and
Faye has no backstory. She's just like, I don't know.
I don't know if they get into that in this. It's just terrible. It's, oh my God, is it bad? Like, she's awful. She's off-putting. She's annoying. Faye doesn't do these things. She wasn't directly aggressive. Like, Faye was a pain in the ass. Faye was the kind of one who would be like, oh, yeah, everything's cool. We're fine. And then, like, 2 minutes later, her ship's taken off and she's got your shit. And you're like, God damn it, Faye. What are you doing?
She's just fucking sneaky. I don't know. They're just, everything that was likable about Faye is gone. Gone forever.
Gone.
It has nothing to do with anything.
No, at least if they get the character right, I could forgive them.
My basic problem is
the bad costuming.
It's 3 characters that are like the thing that made like the series great was that like the original series, it was like the dynamic between the characters.
Yep.
But they got rid of that. Like, because
it's
Faye's just an over the top version of both of them, and then that's
and Spike's off. Jet's the only one who's close.
Spike's super off. Jet's super close.
Except Jet's got a kid now.
Yeah, he's like an ex. He's got like this standard '80s like cop thing, where he's like, "Oh God, I got an ex-wife and a kid, and like they're on my ass for
terrible, unnecessary, unnecessary, completely."
And it has nothing to do with the story. It's just like whatever, got to do it.
Dumb. Let's see what else.
So basically,
costuming. So forget about Faye's disaster of a costume, and it didn't have to be identical. But God, did they?
They didn't even try.
You know, try.
Like I've said 100 times, the headband. That's what chaps my ass the most.
Yeah,
they didn't even give her the fucking yellow headband.
And even stuff like, I noticed this. Maybe I was being hypercritical. Like Spike's costume, right? Like, okay, it looks basically like the costume. The collar on his shirt, it's like they didn't just buy a yellow shirt, which is all you have to do.
Yeah.
A nice tailored yellow shirt, and you pull the collar up. No. It looks like they made it, and it's overly thick.
It looks like somebody at a convention whose mom helped him make it.
Yes, which is fun. If it was a cosplay, I'd be like, that's really cool.
Yeah, like, good job, buddy.
You're a goddamn multi-million-dollar Netflix show. Do better.
Yeah.
Like go buy a $100, Brooks Brothers shirt.
No,
or
don't
whoever.
do better. Try,
Do
period. Like, do anything.
Like, what the hell? I'm not trying to be snobby here, but Jesus Christ, at least you could
It's
look
very
better.
noticeable that
It's
it's
very
like,
noticeable.
a fucking somebody's hobby.
And it's a standard button-up shirt. Like, I get that you have to make the jacket because it's different.
Yeah.
But whatever. Dumb. Makes no sense.
Anyway, so the shit show of characters, like, they do that whole scene at the beginning that, like, I guess it just establishes that they're bounty hunters, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Face an insane cunt, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they slide into basically the first episode of the original series.
Yeah, with the red eye.
The red eye. Katarina, is that her name?
Don't ask me to remember her name.
The only good
She's in one fucking episode.
And the only good thing about it, because that actress is fucking gorgeous.
She is gorgeous, yes.
That was my only takeaway from that. And then the Mexican dude.
Oh, and they fuck up what the red eye even does. Because it just makes the guy go berserk instead of like...
Yeah, red eye's supposed to make you like super
make
aware, like fucking kung fu
super fast, all sorts of stuff, right?
It's like
it
reminds me of slow-mo from Dread, right?
A little bit.
To an extent, yeah.
But yeah, it was supposed to emulate kind of like the bullet time bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Around the same time, right?
Exactly.
So no, that doesn't work, right? And it's clear they have no budget when they're like rolling around in a Camaro.
Yeah, I know. No one has spaceships. Like in that, there were no cars. Everybody just had spaceships, and they're like, this is
the series. Even the cars were like.
Yeah.
In most cases, they were futuristic-looking cars, hover cars, whatever. Here, they just used cars.
The set looks like Mexico, like a town in Mexico, and like they're driving a fucking burned-out, like, second-gen Camaro.
Which I get you want it to look lived in and look a little dingy because that's what Cowboy Bebop looks like.
Yeah, but, I mean, no one had a second-gen Camaro.
No, it's... Yeah.
Like, in that future, that car would be, like, fucking 400 years old or something. You know what I mean?
Would you even get gas?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it just makes no fucking sense. So dumb.
No, it's all these little things that add up.
Well, I mean, even if you just watch it without noticing any of the little things, it's just off-putting. It's like jerky and like
the
all over
pacing's
the
screwed
place.
up. It's just bad.
The pacing's weird because they like kind of jam the episode in the middle, and then they have a bunch of dumb shit at the end. And
all right, so let's get to what I think is the worst, the most egregious thing. The most
egregious
this side of Faye. What the fuck is the deal with making Julia like a main character?
Yeah,
and
making her super evil
and making Vicious so terrible.
Vicious
is not good.
Vicious is being played by like a weird, like craggy faced old man.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me. He's supposed to be almost like a pretty boy.
He's more like old and wrinkly than I am.
Yeah,
and it's like so. You see the like wig. Like at first, like you see just
the wig is terrible.
The back of him,
and
then he turns around,
and I never even noticed that shit.
It's just this like craggy faced old man with
big,
like a bad
jaw.
wig.
I'm like,
Vicious, and like super deep lines in his face.
Vicious is like a feral animal, and his look like he's supposed to be like a predator.
He's supposed to be hawkish.
Yes, hawkish
features,
like a feline. Like, oh god, so bad. Like just such bad. And then he doesn't act like Vicious at all.
No.
Too much dialogue. He acts like a mustache twirling, like shittily written villain.
Yeah, like he's got one of those round bombs with a fuse in his back pocket.
What the fuck is Vicious doing in the first episode for an extended length of time with dialogue?
Why the fuck is Julia in the first episode?
Apart from like quick little flashback hints, which is
the most egregious thing I think in the overall story is like. They basically made Julia a villain instead of having that dynamic between
where she was basically under Vicious's thumb.
Yeah, and she couldn't like do anything.
She's not a character. She's a ghost from Spike's past.
Yeah,
exactly. And she shows up really not until the last fucking 2 episodes.
So like every good character dynamic in the entire show has been gotten rid of,
screwed up,
and they just like they don't replace it with anything. It's just junk.
And getting outside of the first episode. What the fuck is that Ed shit that they tried to do?
I wanted to kill myself.
So terrible.
Like if Sean hadn't shut it off when he did, I would have pulled out whatever gun was closest to me and blown my fucking brains out.
It's so bad.
Horrendous.
So bad.
Like, she's not supposed to be an annoying, screaming idiot. Like, ugh.
And you can...
She's supposed to be like
they don't understand basic writing.
Like a silly child.
You need to translate this thing to live action. It doesn't... You make it less realistic there, and then you make that... That doesn't make any sense. Like, yes, I know Ed is goofy and Ed is silly and Ed says crazy shit, but, like, you got to tone it down a little bit for live action so it works. Oh, my God.
Just this screeching hyena. Like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, and Faye getting the drop on Spike, too. What the fuck was that?
Oh, never. Not now. Not Faye is not a fucking
and
super
fighting
killer.
him and winning. Like, no, that's not how this works. It ship to ship maybe a little bit, but, like, that's not how this works.
Insert feminist garbage.
Oh, it's such garbage.
Blah, blah,
While they're
blah.
making Julia, like, the capo de tutti capi at the end. Like,
yeah, like, come on. That's so
shit?
stupid. That was, like, the, like, linchpin of the series. Was, like, her relationship with Spike and fucking
and Vicious. And trying to get over that.
And, like...
And that's what all the Gren shit hinged on in the middle of the show.
Exactly. So they basically just, like, took everything that made the original good and, like, took a shit all over it.
And there's 10 episodes of this dreck. And apparently, plot-wise, it really only gets through 5 episodes, except it also, like, throws the kitchen sink from other episodes in there. For the love of God, I pray they don't do any more of this trash. It is awful.
It's universally reviled, so they won't, but...
I said it the other day, it's one of those situations where it's the worst possible situation. Both the critics, it doesn't matter if it's for the same reasons, both the critics and the fans don't like it, but they're all, like, in that 40 to 50% range of, like, It's not like, 1%, 2%, like, oh, it's the worst thing ever, I absolutely hate it, or like, this is great, I love it. No. It's the indifference level. It's right in the middle where it's
it's like everybody's just like, ugh, this is terrible. I don't care.
It'll be forgotten about in a week.
Thank God.
Awful. Awful garbage.
The fucking hubris, right? To take one of the most beloved anime series ever, at least in the Western world.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
outside of Japan.
Absolutely.
And then to, like, just, like, pull down your fucking diaper and just blow fucking Taco Bell all over it is just, like, it's disgusting. Bad. It disgusts me deeply.
It's gross, and I can't say enough bad things about it. And watching it really cemented for me. And, it was that feeling. I remember when we first started watching it, and this is the last thing I'll say because we got to move on, but you had a little bit, the most offensive thing is there's little bits of things that were
right
good.
in the beginning. Right at the beginning, there's little bits where it's like, oh man, this almost could have been good.
Yep.
But then once you get like fucking 10 minutes in, you're just like, oh my God, this is like just absolute fucking garbage.
Absolute utter trash. Just not good at all.
Yeah, no, I couldn't stomach any more episodes, so that's basically it. Please, for the love of God, like, do not watch it. I don't want you to injure yourselves.
Don't watch it. Just don't. Go watch the original again. And if you've watched the original recently and you don't want to watch it again, go watch, like, Outlaw Star.
Yeah. And
if you watched that recently too, go watch Gun Sword. Like,
yeah. It's all like the Space Cowboy trilogy.
Go, if you want something live action, go watch Firefly, which was basically half of freaking Outlaw Star ripped off.
It was half of Outlaw Star, and then like
some bits of other things. I don't remember.
Yeah, a few bits of other things. Anyway,
speaking of which, let's move on. Talk about.
Let's talk about something good.
Some subgenres stuff. It could even be just a single thing you saw. So you put the challenge to me. Hey, come up with your 5
Anime
things.
has been stopped up with the same, like, shit. Like...
Yes.
Last season was, like, God, over a dozen, like, fucking Isekai shows. I mean, come on now. Not everything has to be from another world.
No, it does not. Just give me another season of Gate, you fuckers.
Yeah, no shit, right?
So anyway...
One of the best Isekai twists probably in the last...
We're trying to think of,
years.
Not just broad genres, like, oh, I want more sci-fi. No. Like, a little more specific than that. Like, what?
Yeah, just shit.
And again, it could be a single thing where it's like, this one thing should have, like, ballooned out into more. So...
Or they just haven't done it in a long time.
Or they just don't do it often enough.
And I want to see it come back.
I mean, one of mine, they're doing this season, but it's not something they do a lot outside of
I want more.
This one show. So
anyway, you first. Give me your first one. We're probably going to have a lot of overlap on
so my first one is obvious. Since we're talking about Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star and Gun Sword, space westerns. I want more like westerns in space.
There are quite a few like less remembered ones too. But
There are other ones out there, but to me, those are the three things. Like Firefly style, right? Which again, it's a lot of rip off Follow a Star. It's not 100%, not at all. And I love Firefly, so don't come at me, Firefly fans. I love that shit too. But Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, and Gunsword are the three.
Yeah.
The three that I would say, and there's more, like you said, but those would be the three.
It was way more popular in like early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, I just there's like Wild Arms, and there's a bunch.
Oh,
of
that's
other
what
ones.
I was thinking of, Wild Arms.
Yeah, there are other ones. Don't get me wrong, but
the space cowboy genre was banging.
It's a cool genre. Like it's got that sense of adventure and Wild West, but in space. But it's got a little of that Star Wars feel going on, which I like.
You can basically take. Anything that's like you could take any generic samurai story and just make it Western.
Oh yeah, they're very interchangeable.
They're very interchangeable.
I mean, obviously with all the Western remakes of samurai stuff, like Magnificent Seven.
Oh yeah, Kurosawa stuff basically,
and the Dollars trilogy. Although Good, Bad, and the Ugly isn't really a remake, but Fistful of Dollars is. So anyway,
exactly.
What is your first one?
Oh, I want big dick space operas come back.
Okay.
Like epic,
so
fucking legendary.
So we've already
spanning galaxies.
We've already overlapped. That was my fifth one.
Yeah,
space operas.
These lists are probably gonna be identical. But.
So space operas, yeah, agreed.
And they don't have to be mecha.
No, absolutely not.
When they started redoing Legend of Galactic Heroes,
yeah,
I was
give me examples of series that you want to see. So you said Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Yeah, like when they started remaking that, I was like, fuck, I miss this. This is great. But I mean, if you want to add mecha in them, Gundam, yeah, like there's so many of them. What the fuck was the other one? 12 something?
Oh, Majestic 12?
No.
That's mecha.
Maybe. I don't know. There was
Rest of the Stars, Banner of the Stars.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, Banner of the Stars.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just want that big, overarching, like,
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler's pretty good for that, yeah.
Irresponsible Captain Tyler.
But yeah, like they just kind of stopped doing those, and it bums me out.
Yeah, I agree. I could do with some more of those, for sure. All right, so I will. Well, now you went ahead of me, so you got to go again because we both had space operas.
Oh, now that like mecha started to come back a little bit.
Yep.
I want mecha ecchi. Like that was my like favorite thing. Like you get mecha, comedy,
reviewer.
Boobs.
Give me
boom.
Yeah. So
the big
give
three.
me some examples.
Oh, fucking Godanner. Probably one of the best. Gravion.
Yep.
Really good. The fuck was the other one?
Katetsu Shinji had
oh yeah, like
on.
Pretty much everything did it back then, and I really enjoyed it because I like humor in it. You know what I mean?
It's got a little bit of humor. It's got a little bit of titillation.
Oh my god, who's that chick in Godanner? Where like the joke was she used to get stuck in like hatchways and shit.
I can't. Shizuru,
yeah, because her ass was too big. It's just a funny like reoccurring joke. Yeah, I don't know. I like lighthearted stuff.
Godanner's a good ass show, by the way. You should.
Oh yeah, Godanner's one of the best because it's basically like kind of a spoof on like the old Super Robot shows.
Best.
Yeah, it really is. It's so fucking good.
Yeah,
but one of my favorites. Gravion's like not quite as good, but it's pretty.
No,
up there.
Gravion. I suppose I should watch it again because I've only seen it once. But yeah. it's a little.
It's not
cheesy.
as rewatchable as Godanner.
No.
You know what I mean? Actually, Gunsword kind of overlaps a little bit with that. It was still kind of that era.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider.
It's not as ecchi.
I wouldn't consider Gunsword to be very ecchi. Well, you just have Fossilina who's whoring herself around the whole
fan
series.
Service,
but that's not really played in that way because she's so horrific. And like she's played as just being a horrific manipulator.
What's the other one?
Carmen 99.
Exzel Saga.
No.
There's a ton of that shit back, like early 2000s.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. It exists.
So anyway, I want it back because I enjoyed the shit out of it.
All right.
Some of my favorite shows back in the day.
I'll jump off of that with another dank subgenre, but it plays into what we watched to review today. Medieval mecha.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Medieval style mecha. So think ESCAFLOWNE, Dunbind.
Oh, yeah, Dunbind.
Not that Dunbind isn't a shit show at the end. Damn you, Tamino. I wish that had a good ending.
The problem with Dunbind is I wouldn't care if the ending was crap, but it's like 52 episodes of like Tamino action.
Panzerworld Galleon.
Oh, fucking yes.
Panzerworld Galleon. I would consider that to be more of a medieval mecha.
Oh, definitely. It's because it's like on another like planet that's
Fucking-
medieval, but
I mean, Go Lion, Voltron.
I've been
son.
meaning to-
I mean, that's not completely
I've been
medieval,
meaning
but it's
to
got
us
that feel.
to do like because it's not that long a series. We should really do it sometime.
Yeah,
because nobody knows about Panzerworld Galleon.
it's got
That's
awesome
like
designs,
that's a
too.
deep. It never came over here. Like you have to kind of like.
But that's something I'd like to see more of. I mean, mecha in general is good, but like the ones that aren't as technology based are just.
Oh, fucking Breakblade was very similar to that.
Oh, is it? I haven't
Yeah.
watched Breakblade yet, so I was waiting for it all to be out.
Yeah, because like all the mecha run by like. There's this like weird, like it's like quartz, and they're like people have powers where they can manipulate quartz.
Yeah.
But there's this one kid that can't, and there's this like, basically this like old mech that they like dug up. That's like fucking nuclear powered.
Yeah.
It's like a nuclear powered death machine. Like,
Yeah.
and he pilots it because he doesn't have stupid quartz.
So
fucking
anyway-
massaging power.
Medieval mecha.
Anyway, awesome.
You're up.
Non-isekai fantasy. Lotus
Yes.
War style.
Yes. Just
Not-
straight fantasy.
Yeah, not that I hate. Like a lot of the isekai fantasy is good. It's just like I don't need
Yeah.
that stupid.
I like Shield Hero.
Fucking isekai hook.
So you get some. So you get Goblin Slayer. You got
Yeah, no, it's
How to Pick Up Girls in a
in a
Dungeon.
Dungeon. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the big two I can think of. They have no isekai hook, but like I just like to see more of it, like that dank old fantasy.
more
style.
D&D style fantasy.
Yeah, except like with no video game references and like.
I mean, I guess you get a little bit of that with, or yeah, you should get a fair bit of that with frickin' Black Clover too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not the same style, but
Yeah, that's shown.
it's adjacent. But I know what you mean, like that Lotus War, very traditional D&D style.
Yeah, I just don't want like video game references and like dumb shit in it all the time. You know what I mean? I just
I
want
know
like
what you're
old
looking for.
school shit.
Yeah. All right, so that'll lead to my next one, which is technology as magic. So I'm thinking of like Scrap Princess,
Yeah.
which has a little mecha too, but
That was another one I was gonna say is like apocalyptic stuff, like post-apocalyptic stuff, but it kind of like bleeds into what
similar
you're saying.
idea.
Yeah,
right,
it's like
where,
post-apocalyptic. Like they don't really know if it's magic or technology.
you get a little bit of that in Outlaw Star, right?
Oh yeah, because there's like weird shit that they don't know how it works.
I know there's other shows I'm forgetting, but that's the idea. Like where, the technology is so advanced as to be magic, but the setting is more medieval like, and it's all treated as magic, even though it's technology. I don't know. I just like that as a hook. I think it's kind of cool, and I would like some more Scrap Princess, please, because it's good. I don't mean the exact show, just more in that style. It's just a forgotten kind of show that was good. So.
You're gonna have to help me figure out what show this is.
Okay. Well, so what's your next one?
Lord of the Flies. Like the the kids like
yes,
lost in space and they have to like
it's
create.
not Van Dread, it's the other one.
No,
Infinite Revias.
Yes, thank you. Infinite Revias, and there was one a couple seasons ago called Astra Lost in Space.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a cool show.
That one wasn't. That was cool. It wasn't. Infinite Revias was better, but Astra was pretty cool.
No, it was good for like a 12 episode,
Yeah.
quickie. But like I like that style, like the just like a bunch of like annoying children stuck out in like space or wherever. They
And
have
what
to, like,
happens?
Yeah, they have to create hierarchies, and somebody takes charge, and there's arguments and fights. And
I got another
murder
one.
and-
Another really good one. And the name is now slipping away from me. Vifam.
Oh fuck yes,
Vifam.
That's a good one. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Vifam's a good one for that.
Fucking look up Vifam.
Yeah, it's a good show. 20-something episodes. 80s mecha.
Because that's like, that's the exact thing.
How the sergeant, the kid who's just like a savage.
Yeah.
He puts like the boxes on his feet so he can pilot the mechs.
Yeah, because they like killed his
Great
family.
mech designs,
And he's
too.
like 8 years old, and he's like, I gotta kill him.
And they're just like, because their parents all got killed, or they got separated from them. Then all the adults got killed on the ship, and there's
It's
a war
just-
going on.
Yeah, it's like nothing but kids, and they're like super
and they're in
hard.
space, but they're like they've got more combat than most of the adults around, and they're doing a better job. It's a cool show.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, good thinking, because I didn't even think of that when I was writing that down.
you can almost get a little bit of that with what's that damn Tomino show, Zabungle.
Yeah.
You almost get a little bit of that with that. Not really, but anyway.
Yep. Same diff.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. I got my last one here, which is I don't know if this is a genre, but like I just wrote down spy / 60s style intrigue. And what I mean,
Cyborg 009?
Maybe.
Kind of.
I'm really thinking more like Go-Go 13.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like
Go-Go 13 had that like mad, awesome 60s style.
I'm thinking even Lupin, right? Because to me, those are very similar. More like real world, but with that like 60s kind of aesthetic.
I like that vibe.
That international, like James Bond style. Like, that's what I want. And they don't do it very often. I mean, those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head that don't have ridiculous bullshit going on. Well, they're ridiculous, but Go-Go 13 and Lupin, but more of that style. Like I think it's really cool, and just there's not enough of it at all.
Nah, it's definitely cool.
I mean, those 60s and 70s movies were just, again, they ooze style. They're a good thing you could mine for anime, and just there's not enough.
Not to jump into, not to get too off topic, but fucking Legion, remember the like Marvel show they did?
Yeah.
That had like the best 60s style.
Yeah.
Because it was set like back in the 60s.
Just
like,
a little bit
kind of an alternative timeline. But they did a really good job with that. It was like so trippy and 60s.
Well, it's like Man from U.N.C.L.E. People sleep on that movie. It was a good movie. But, we get plenty of, I mean, not plenty. You get some movies that are like that, but I really think anime.
Yeah, I definitely
does not mind that enough.
I definitely dig that style.
As an alternative to noir, because I think they do a lot of noir theme stuff, but not as much of that more 60s, 70s style. Crime, action, I don't know, intrigue.
Exactly. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. So that was my last one. What's your
anyway,
last
I got
one?
two more.
Two more?
I got one's like just a quickie. I want harem shows to be less generic. Like, I want like Tenchi and Oh My Goddess. I mean, Oh My Goddess back.
Yeah.
Like that style.
Tenchi Muyo. Yep. Yep. Oh My Goddess. Oh my God. I wish they would have finished it, like done the whole manga.
Oh My God, it's fucking awesome.
I love the motorcycle club.
The motorcycle club.
Guys,
man, those guys are ride or die.
Those dudes are the best. Oh, they really are ride or die.
Anyway, and the last one, almost fucking Cyberpunk, son.
Yeah.
It like peaks like
there was
through
some
a couple times.
There was some last season, but it was that horrific.
I mean, the only good thing,
digital animation garbage.
Yeah, the only thing you really get it like that's been good in the past, like God, fucking 10 years. Psychopaths,
yes.
And God, I just want more of that. So good.
Yeah, Psychopaths is excellent, and a little on the nose.
Yeah, right. It's prescient.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't pick that one because it felt like it was being served by Psychopaths, I guess. But you're not wrong.
But there's just not enough. Like there should be 12 isekai shows that are all like the same kind of generic fucking
guy caught in medieval place.
Yeah, it's always medieval and shit. Like, go to space, motherfucker. I've said this 20 times, but come on. You can isekai to somewhere else. But like isekai to cyberpunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just not enough cyberpunk at all. Like that was like a staple.
Maybe that Blade Runner show will be good.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, the golden age, like, late 80s, early 90s, that was like fucking all cyberpunk. This is the best.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of the OVAs and stuff, like you said.
I fucking miss it.
Really good. You should just watch City Hunter. It combines a lot of these things.
Yeah, it's true. We never watched that new City Hunter movie.
I have not watched a minute of City Hunter in my life, so that's my first problem.
I watched a lot of the series.
I need to watch the series.
Yeah, I haven't watched the movie. Shinjuku Private Eyes.
Anyway, that's
moving on.
Yeah, that's the those are subgenres.
That's it.
Trying to get back.
That's our get off my lawn rant about old shit we want back.
Talked about a bunch of different examples. So if you're
interested, it's not really old shit. I mean, it's just a cycle. Like this stuff has existed forever. Like for so long it was like nothing but mecha shows.
The cycle's getting stupid because they're going too hard at like one thing, and that's killer.
Even Slice of Life wasn't this bad. It was just like the same
Slice
thing.
of Life was pretty fucking bad.
It was savage.
Again, nothing against a good Slice of Life show, but
shut up, boys over flowers forever.
I could honorable mention in like super violent horror too, but
yeah, I almost said horror too.
Not enough of that, but anyway, we'll move on.
What's the last good horror one you've seen?
Horror?
Probably Parasite.
Jesus.
Remember Parasite?
Yeah, I didn't watch all of Parasite.
That thing living in your hand and shit.
Yep.
And all they do is like to eat humans. That's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, Terraformers. It's horror. That was weird.
Terraformers just like super edgelord.
Yeah, it was.
It didn't have much going on. It was just like an excuse for violence.
Elfin lead. It's really old.
Yeah, true.
I wish that was actually finished. Anyway, moving the fuck on.
Moving on to ESCAFLOWNE the movie.
ESCAFLOWNE. Yeah. So, if you've seen ESCAFLOWNE the series, I mean, it was on Fox Kids way back in the day in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then I think
it was on Toonami at one point.
I do think they played it on Toonami after that.
I can't guarantee that though.
I can't guarantee it. I think they did in the early 2000s. But it was mildly popular. You know, I remember
they got a little play. Yeah,
it got a little bit of play. Pretty good series. You know, 26 episode series. I'm staring at the Blu-rays right now. And you know, it's about it's a little bit of isekai going on, right?
It's like half isekai.
You know, you got a girl, a high school girl who's you know, what is she like? She's like a track star, and she's just, I don't know, she feels out of place in the world she's in, which is Earth, and she just like gets whisked off to, I don't even know what to call it. It's like
she gets spirited away.
Yeah, it's like an alternate dimension that's like a fantasy world, but Earth is like.
You can like
you
can see Earth from there, but you can't.
But there's extra moons. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's kind of interesting.
Anyway, it's called Gaia.
Yep. And then there's various factions on Gaia fighting, and they have in the series especially they have all kinds of armors, which are mechs.
Yeah, it's just like they look like giant suits of armor, basically.
Yes, but they're not huge. They're like Pat Labor size, maybe even a little smaller.
Yeah, like
they're more like 4 meter tall mechs, not.
Yeah.
You know, they're a little bit bigger than a Scope Dog. I don't know. If you're thinking about various mecha shows, they're not Gundam size. They're not super huge.
No, they're small. They're like a person can fit inside it, but like, you know, you can't have like.
But anyway,
you can't have a party in there.
You got Vaughn, who's like the lost king or lost prince or whatever.
Yeah, like these assholes wiped out his kingdom, killed his whole family, and he's like the roaming prince to the like empire that doesn't exist anymore.
And the series is him and
he wants vengeance.
Him and Hitomi.
Yeah.
The girl who's like the fabled wing goddess or whatever.
Yeah.
And they go through, and then the series has some really cool stuff. It's got a really cool ending. It's just with another asshole from our world. It's just the series is good. I highly recommend the series. We're not talking about the series today. After this, we talk about the movie,
which is a complete departure from the series.
Complete departure. Has nothing to do. It's got they took the pieces of the series and they rearranged them into a movie. One, it has,
and because it was the 90s, it's edgy as fuck.
It's very edgy. It's a blood dumpster, blood everywhere. Like Vaughn in the first scene.
It has like one of the first. Like one of my favorite like opening like 5-minute scenes where like Vaughn basically drops out of a fucking balloon. Like they have these floating, like in the series they have these things called levistones that basically like they strap them to ships and they just float. They don't explain any of that in the movie. They just floating ships. So he drops from a floating ship that's way higher. And he just like drops through the air, lands on like the enemy ship, and just fucking. He's got a katana, and he just slices and dices.
Yep.
I mean, he just goes through the whole ship,
blood dumpster,
like fucking a wild animal. It's a really good scene, though. The animation is fucking pretty as fuck.
The animation is very good.
It's fantastic.
Anyway, so you have that. You also have Hitomi here, who's a little older. She's a few years older than the series.
Yeah.
In the series, she's like, 14, 15, 16. Here, she's like, 16, 17, 18.
Late high school, yeah.
Late high school instead of early high school. And she's
filled with suicide.
Yeah, she's, oh, God, she's so edgy. Everything about this is so edgy.
So emo.
You will cut yourselves on the corners of this. And she just wants to, she wants to get away. She's just done with this.
Yeah, she wants to kill herself because she's like, I hate the world, blah, blah, blah.
I hate everything for reasons.
Yeah,
like,
no reason
really
at all. Just like emo teenage crap.
But then she ends up getting summoned to the world. And she ends up inside the ESCAFLOWNE, which is the armor. Way more organic in this. It's all like...
Yeah, it's all got like tendrils and shit.
Yeah, it's not like the series. It's an armor. It's like bone and metal and it just... cloth, whatever.
Yeah, it's made of like dragon bones and shit.
Yeah,
but it's actually constructed. This one is like a weird.
Who knows? It's
thing.
Like going in and out of dimensions.
Yeah, it's like it's magic.
It like materializes a cape with weird little tentacles. Like, it's freaking weird.
Fucking stupid tentacle cape.
Anyway, she ends up on that world. Just similar to the series, her and Vaughn end up, together, quote unquote, not together. There's way more of that going on in the series. The love story that's going on. Yeah, there's not really much romance here. Maybe right at the end. Vaughn is far more of a beast.
I was just
going to
say, Vaughn is way more of an asshole in the movie.
Yes. Anyway, they're on the ship and they're basically trying to take down the Black Dragon clan.
Yeah,
is they're called.
It's like the clan that wiped out Vaughn's family and whatever.
Yeah, because Vaughn is the prince of that family or whatever, and his brother's the asshole.
Yeah, his brother's like the asshole in the Black Dragon clan that like wiped his whole family.
And then they get their own mecha, and there is eventually a showdown. There's not a lot of mechs. At the end, you get your one mech fight.
It's very much like a Pat Labor movie where you get very little.
Yeah, very little. Anyway, that's the ESCAFLOWNE movie. That's the plot, basically. It's a very simple plot, very straightforward. Like,
not a ton of weird shit.
Get Vaughn and Hitomi to the place where they can fight the Black Dragon jerks and then win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Hitomi summons the ESCAFLOWNE, so you kind of need her to like use it.
No, yeah,
basically.
You need her around. So anyway, that's the basic plot of the movie. What do you like about the movie besides stuff you already said?
Like that first 5 minutes.
Yeah, besides the first 5 minutes.
Exquisite. The animation is really good.
The princess's dirty characters.
Yeah, like they really like edgelord everything up. All the girls are extra slutty for some reason. Like,
just looking, not in character.
Yeah, but like the princess is just in this like wicked tiny fan service outfit. It's like you in the series you wear like a giant dress all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird stuff like that. Like every character is like dialed up to 11. It has basically nothing to do with the series, so it's kind of just a standalone thing.
Completely standalone.
It has to be standalone by itself. As just a movie, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It looks pretty. It's short. Like, you're not investing a ton of time into this.
You could watch it alone. I will say that is one of my bitches. I do think some things just would not make any sense if you hadn't seen the series.
You almost have to have seen the series to even understand who these people are and like what's going on.
Why
a lot of the characters they kind of don't even introduce properly.
Yeah, they don't, and they don't really explain them either.
Yeah, it's like the dude with the glasses, like the guild guy.
Oh yeah,
they never say who he is or what he does.
Nope.
He's like like in this series, he's financing their whole operation, basically.
The enhanced luck soldiers that are now singers.
Yeah, they're like lounge singers,
maybe. Like, I don't know.
They're lounge singers. Whatever. Taking out the enhanced luck soldier part kind of bummed me out.
Man, one of the coolest things.
DeLandau
is way different.
Oh yeah,
so he's one of the chief bad guys.
DeLandau's not.
He's an annoying kid.
He's not as as much of an annoying crazy child.
Yeah, he's still psychotic, but in a different way.
My face,
and you actually feel bad for him in this instead of in the original.
Yeah.
Oh, and they got rid of that whole. I just remember that whole weird thing with DeLandau with like the gender changing or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, he used to slit. Oh my god, he was non-binary original style.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
He would
I just remembered that.
He would like slip back and forth between genders, like by
that's
accident.
later, but like that's completely removed. Like it's very simplified. From
they really
the
cut
series.
it down.
And a lot of the characters, like if you have seen the original, don't act in any way the same. Like it's just very different.
Yeah. I kind of like it as a movie, though. It has like a lot of cool scenes in it.
It's got cool scenes. It's got great animation. It works as a standalone story. It's not broken or anything. Like, but apart from not knowing some of the characters, but that doesn't. You don't need to. Like, not knowing them doesn't matter for the most part.
Yeah, like they set it up really well. I do like that through thread, though. Right? We were talking about that the other night when we watched it.
Yeah.
Like how Hitomi's suicidal at the beginning. And then she gets there, and she sees how shitty Vaughn's life is. And, like, if Vaughn's fighting his brother, and his brother is just like, oh, no, it's the Beast guy.
The Beast guy,
The Beast guy is just like, he's talking to Hitomi because, like, she's trying to take care of Vaughn because he got, like, fucked up in a fight.
He got fucked up with Deland. Yeah, fighting Deland.
Yeah. And the Beast guy is just like, dude, you got to just let him die. He just wants to die. He's fucking miserable. His whole family's dead. Everybody's dead. Like, he just wants to die. And she's like, oh, man, you can't die. Like, you need stuff to live for, blah, blah, blah. And she like, and that keeps coming up
Yeah.
Finally at the end of the series, she convinces him he wants to live. And I don't know, it's just an interest. Like, it was a good, through line through the whole thing. It's just no, we all want to live now. It was like
good.
It was like an anti-suicide PSA.
There's I think the end of the series is a little... At the end of the series, I cracked up. It was so... It is unintentionally amusing, but not because it's bad, poorly written. It's
supposed to be though.
The sheer hubris.
Yeah, it's like
I don't want to spoil it, but
I won't spoil it because it's like one of the best endings in any anime.
I thought it was excellent. Like, you don't really figure out what the main villain's deal is until like the last episode or two, and when you do, you're like, "What?" I was like, This is what
you maniac fucking asshole."
I appreciated it, man. I can't wait to rewatch it.
It was a very satisfying ending, and it was like not what you expected, but in a fun way. Like I really liked it.
That's a partial recommendation, right? It's like basically, what you can watch this movie. Movie's cool. It's short. It'll entertain you.
It's fun, but just watch the series.
But if you like it, if you do watch it and you like it even a little bit, watch the series because the series is so much better.
Yeah, I mean, do yourself a favor. You're doing yourself a disservice if you've never seen ESCAFLOWNE because it's an absolute classic.
It's a good series. I like it.
It's one of the better put together series from like back in the 90s. It's old too. Like, it's like 90s, but it doesn't seem it. It's like very classic.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what year.
That was like 96. Maybe?
Sunrise. It makes a lot of sense.
I think it's 96. I could be wrong though. Might even be older than that, actually. Maybe it was like 92 or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, like mid-90s.
I mean, I remember it was on Fox Kids. I want to say it was like the mid to late 90s when it was on Fox Kids.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm looking at the Blu-rays right now, and I'm not seeing like a copyright date or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It was like mid-90s. I think it came over here around like 96 or so. At any rate.
I think, we could be off by many years. Brains are old.
No, I don't think so. I think it's solid, like in the 90s.
Because this is telling me like the English stereo track is from 2004, so it could have been early 2000s. I don't know.
No, I think it's like originally from like 96 though, and I think it played over here like early 2000s. That's what I think, but I don't really care. So.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's old. It's older than probably a lot of people that would listen to this. So,
regardless, the movie's fun.
TV series was 96, so you were correct.
Boom. I'm the master.
I'm the insult master.
Burn a nation.
But it is good because it's much like OFMS Team. It was kind of like that height.
It's like really good hand drawn.
Right before they started to really start leaning into digital stuff.
If you're an animation nerd, it's quality.
It's where it was a lot of it's hand drawn, but it's also digitally colored. So it's a little brighter.
It really pops.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite eras of anime. It just looks so good.
Yes, it does.
So check it out. Check out the movie and check out the series. Check them both out. Why not?
Be good.
Anyway, it's almost time for holidays, so we'll wrap this piece up.
What are we doing next week?
Next week, we'll figure that out after.
What we're going to do next week, though, is if I can get my lazy ass to read The Long Halloween. Like, we watched both the DC movies from The Long Halloween.
Yeah.
It's like it's a very famous, like, Batman, like...
Yeah, we will do a compare and contrast.
Story.
Talk about Batman.
Like, if I can get time to reread it this week, we're going to do, like, a comparison between the comic and the animated.
Yeah.
And then who knows after that?
Who knows?
It's a long week, man.
It's a mystery. You'll know. You'll know when you listen to this because it'll be in the damn video. But we ain't figured it out yet, so there's a secret for you.
Anyway, have an awesome holiday, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, entertaining.